This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by DVCBuyResale.com. DVC by Resale is a great place to buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club. You can view their current DVC resales, get answers to frequently asked questions, and see the DVC point charts, all by going to www.dvcbuyresale.com. Or you can email Chantel, who's the owner, at 1-800-844-4099.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, July 6th, 2007, and this is episode 279 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from MGMstudios.org, hailing from parts unknown, and the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world of 1894. It's Mike Scopo of MousePlanet.com and All Ears Net. Welcome, Mike.
Yes, sir. Buildings are towering now as high as 20 stories.
That would be...
I think I know this one.
It's like Carousel of Progress, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve.
Right.
Yeah, our guest got it.
Yeah, that's right. And as always, we have Mike, Mr. Perfect Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
Yes, I am Mr. Perfect. Thank you.
Is everything perfect with you?
Everything is peachy. Peachy
Also
perfect.
here in Scourge, North Carolina, it's Len Testa, the independent guides to Walt Disney World and TourningPlans.com. Welcome, Len.
I thought you were going to say like Ravishing Len Testa or Luscious Len Testa or something like that. That would be funny.
Yeah, I need to get new writers.
You might have a mustache. Exactly.
Give me a Lentesta.
Exactly. Hey, Matt, I got something for our listeners if you got a second.
All right. Go ahead, Len.
So I'm doing a quick survey. If you've ever used a Payless car rental in the Orlando area, could you please drop me a line? My email address is len@touringplans.com, and let me know what your experience was, good, bad, or indifferent. If you could put in the subject line Payless car rental, good, bad, average, whatever, that would be fabulous. And it has to be done on Friday, July 6th, if you could, because we're on a tight deadline for the next edition of the. Well, you know. Ding. Ding. I didn't say it. You can't ding. I didn't say it.
You inferred it. You know, Len.
Latino.
And joining us today is Walt Disney World Today listener Steve Medina, Miami, Florida. Welcome, Steve, and go Marlins.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Outstanding. Well, we brought Steve on here. Steve actually emailed us a listener question, like, everyone's supposed to. And Steve sent us an interesting question, and we thought that it deserved more than just a quick 2-minute answer 2 months after he wanted an answer. We figured we would actually give Steve, a well thought out answer for his
like
question.
A chance of getting a real answer.
This is what we're reduced to. And Steve's a good guy. We met Steve Scopa, met him in the parks, and
Got
we've
a button and everything.
there you go. And Steve, comes out to the live shows and everything. So we thought we'd bring Steve on. So Steve, why don't you tell our listeners what you emailed us, what your situation is?
Well, the situation is that I've got a bunch of friends who are non-believers who always tease us when we go to the parks. We go to the parks about 8 times a year, and they're always like, "Hey, what's going on, man? What's the big deal with Disney World?" And they don't understand why it is that we always want to go. So we basically, say, well, let's all get together and we'll go. And I'll show you, what the big deal is, And basically, they finally agreed. So we're heading out there this November, the weekend before Thanksgiving week. Veterans Day weekend, and basically, I was like, I gotta talk to the guys over at Walt Disney World Today, and get some ideas so that I can really, knock their socks off.
Now, why don't you tell us the ages of the people that are going, Steve?
Well, the couples, we range from about 36 years old to I would say about 43, 44. And we've all got kids ranging from the youngest is 6 years old, and the oldest is 13. So it's a pretty big spectrum, especially with the kids. The teenagers aren't going to like to do what the little kids want to do, but I want to do something, make it really special for them, and so that they can go, hey, this is what we've been missing, or this is why they go to the park so much.
It's a good question. We get that a lot. Mostly, you're going to Disney World again, that kind of a question, and I'm sure many of our listeners.
They think that we're having an affair with Mickey and Minnie,
Right. Like there's some secret that we know about, like where they dispense cash or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So, this is a question that we often get, and I thought it would be a good opportunity to, talk about some things that could really knock their socks off. So this isn't necessarily about riding and doing everything. This is more like setting them up for future trips because, give them a little before and they'll, eat it up later.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've got some that just it's the parents basically. It's our friends, not the kids. The kids love it, and they love that we go all the time. But it's the parents that are like, dude, it's the same thing over and over. And I'm like, no, it's not the same thing over and over. We do a lot of different things. It's not just going to the parks, So they just don't understand it. Yeah.
So let's start. What's something that comes to mind to anyone that would be something that would really impress Steve's in-laws?
Where are you,
Steve,
where are you staying?
Go ahead, Lynn.
We're staying at the
staying?
Port Orleans Riverside. You heard me?
Yep.
Yeah, people are.
Have you considered if I were you, Steve, is there any reason why you picked Riverside? I'm just curious.
Well, we have, there's a couple of the families that have 5 people in their family or whatever. So, none of the value resorts can fit 5 people unless you get the suites, and the suites were already booked up at that time. And plus, they specifically said they don't want to stay at an all-star, So I was like, okay, well, we'll bump up to the moderate, and over at Riverside, there's a lot of rooms that'll sleep five guests. So it was basically a no-brainer.
Some of the 5 are kids, right?
I'm sorry? Yeah. Well, basically, yeah. It's basically 2 parents and then either 2 or 3 kids, depending on which family. Like we're gonna be 5 because my teenage niece is going. She's actually gonna turn 17 over there at the parks that weekend. So, but I didn't tell Disney that. I told them she'll be 16 and that's it. No, 17. Only 2 adults per room.
So what did you what comes to mind, Len, for something that you think that would impress them?
And this is November?
November, Veterans Day weekend.
That's right. Sorry, November. Sorry. In my mind, I saw November. I said September. So have you got dining reservations?
Nope. I was waiting for this show to do that.
So Scopa, I'm thinking for dining reservations, beer garden?
Yeah, that would be the first thing because it's not just food, Steve, but it's the entertainment and the atmosphere.
Yeah,
so
and
I
plus
think,
it's good. You get a table and you could sit some people there, and it's not that expensive.
Right, it's like bench seating over there.
Yeah, but that's okay because you'll take up an entire bench, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's not terrible.
Yeah, Len's got a good point there, Steve. What you need to do is, because you're like about 120 days away or whatever, you should really start thinking about the dining, trying to focus on what dining options that you think would really work well because the restaurants are getting booked up really fast.
What are some restaurants you guys think that would be a good one for Steve to book? Narcoossee's?
Well, I was thinking, is this going to be a first time for? Is this going to be a first time visit for a lot of them?
No. They've all been there before. They've all been to the parks before. But again, they just get up, go to the parks, come back to the room, and they don't go to downtown Disney. They don't enjoy anything else.
They don't get it, right, Steve?
Right, exactly. They don't get it. That's perfectly put.
Okay, so what are some restaurants that you think Scopa would impress them?
Prime time. I think Len touched upon a really good point, and that is you want to get to some restaurants that will entertain them. And many times when you have parents who are adults who don't get it, they sometimes do get it when they see their children getting it, when they see their children enjoying themselves. So I think something like Prime Time would be good. I think something like Whispering Canyon would be good. I think anything like something like Chef Mickey's would be good. Those would be the 3 that I would focus on because sometimes, the kids will flick that switch on the parents and really will get them to see, how enjoyable it really can be.
That's a great point.
See it through their kids' eyes. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I do need to book. I want to book a character breakfast because, like I said, my niece turned 17 that weekend, and I wanted to do a character meal. Not necessarily a breakfast, but a character meal for her birthday. She's a big Disney fan. Go ahead.
What's your favorite character?
Her favorite character is Tinkerbell.
Doesn't help you with the character meal.
Maybe I can get her to slide down the wire during wishes.
So put her in a green jumpsuit and say, "Excuse me, Tinkerbell's here." I'm sorry, Scopo. Did you go visual there for a second?
I'm done. Next.
So character meal. Chef Mickey's is a good all-around meal. I think Scope is right about that. I'm trying to think of some good all-around character meals because certainly.
I mean, a lunch is probably going to be less impact on your touring than breakfast or dinner. If you could do dinner, but dinners are just too.
Well, I mean, we've done the Crystal Palace thing, and she's done the Crystal Palace with us, and she's done Akershus over at Norway.
You know, you should try
princesses.
You should try the new Tusker House character breakfast. Remember, they're moving Donald's Breakfastosaurus over to. Yeah, try that because that'll be new. You could say, look, this is my friends from the show recommended it. No one, it's brand new, just opened up. It's probably.
I just got to persuade him to go to the Animal Kingdom. I just got to persuade him to go to the Animal Kingdom.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with the Animal Kingdom. There's nothing wrong with the Animal Kingdom.
Hey, I agree with you. It's great to spend a couple hours there.
He's definitely a listener of the show. All right, so you've got some character meals down there, Steve. Now, what are some good attractions that we could use, or whether they be rides or little hidden treasures in the parks that would impress Steve's family?
Ooh.
Something simple like riding in the front of the monorail. It always wows people. It doesn't matter who you are, how old you are. It's kind of impressive.
Simple stuff that wows anyone.
You think they'll let us fit 20 Cubans in the front of a monorail?
You'll get 4.
It'll just be like at home, right? We all travel in 20s.
Something fun that you could do. Oh, that's special, right?
Yeah.
You could play. Okay, in Interventions, Hannah and I did this somewhere there. They have a game about pizza, and you could play that. So you get up in front of an audience, and it's a small audience, but it's in Interventions West. Yeah, Interventions West. Let me think. Yeah, it's in West, and it's a trivia game about pizza, and like you have to match states that produce the same ingredient to make a pizza. For example, grains for the dough, milk for the cheese, and stuff like that. You could have the family play that. I don't think you get anything if you win, but it's fun to have everybody play it.
Steve, did you say you're...
And Steve, so who...
Oh, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, Lon.
No, that's it. Go ahead.
Steve, you said your daughter, or your niece is having a birthday?
Yeah, definitely do the birthday thing.
Yeah, do you get the... every day you're in the park, get her a birthday pin. And when you're making reservations for any of the restaurants, mention that it's your niece's birthday. I mean, it's not going to guarantee anything, but you'll certainly set yourself up for some interesting things, especially if you go to a restaurant like Primetime or Whispering Canyon. I mean, she's going to be the subject of conversation, to say the least.
Yeah. Right. She loves to be the center of attention. So
then this is her place. Yeah, she'll love that.
That's her thing.
Now you've got some kids. So maybe you guys said 6-year-old was the youngest.
Yeah, the youngest is my daughter, 6 years old, and she's a Disney veteran. I mean, she could be a tour guide already. She already knows how to point and everything.
Len Jr.
Oh, with the 2 fingers? The pointing with the 2 fingers?
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome.
She's a character. I mean, it's incredible how she is.
Steve, what are the actual dates you're going to be down there?
The actual dates, I'm looking at my calendar right now, is the 9th, 10th, 11th, and we're leaving the 12th. We're getting there Friday night, and we're leaving on Monday.
Is Food and Wine still going on?
Yeah, it's
Mine is going to be that'll be on until November 11th. I was thinking of they could even catch the early days of Osborne Lights, but
I think that
the
starts this
Osborne Lights
week.
will run.
That.
Oh, it starts the 12th this year.
Yeah, 12th. Yep, you're right about that. The other thing you might
12. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there would Very Merry Christmas Party tickets already be starting then?
I think they start a little bit later. No, November 12th is the first night.
Yeah, Steve, you might consider going to Very Merry. That might be an interesting event for them.
But that's a Monday night. That's a Monday night, right?
Yeah, the 12th,
Yeah.
whatever.
That's our getaway day. We got to drive back to Miami. Got to do the 4 hours back to Miami.
Gotcha. What are some other good things that Steve can do in terms of? I mean, you want to go on, obviously the premier attractions, the headliner ones, the Pirates. Not only like the e-ticket attractions, like perhaps Everest, but you also want to do some of the things that are really the big crowd pleasers. I think, like obviously Pirates of the Caribbean, the new Finding
Will
Nemo.
Haunted Mansion be back up?
November?
Haunted Mansion be back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be.
I mean, you can do
What about
attractions.
Spaceship Earth? Yeah.
Spaceship Earth should be up too, and the Video Globe should be back. So Illumination should be right at the top of your list as well, because there should be some new wrinkles to Illuminations by then.
Yeah.
That'll be
One
interesting
thing
to
I
see,
was
yeah.
reading about. One thing I was reading about is I've done the Illuminations cruise, but we've never done the Wishes cruise. Isn't there a boat that'll fit all about 20 people in the Wishes cruise? Because I know the pontoons over at Illuminations only fit, I believe, 10 or 12.
I just don't think the cruises are worth the money. I mean,
No, I mean
Yeah.
they are expensive. I know that.
and really, go to a nice dinner somewhere. Even then, I mean, kids don't care at all about dinner. If you're doing a dinner, it's for the adults. Kids could care less.
Right.
So
I agree.
Yeah, I think I agree with Len. I mean, a nice dinner at this would be the night perhaps that you choose to go to a really nice meal. Kind of like if you were on the dining plan, you would call it the 2-table service credit meal. One of those kinds of.
We got the Disney dining experience thanks to Scopa.
Yeah.
It's already paid for itself.
I was going to say, why don't you take everybody to Bongos?
No way. That's the worst
No?
Cuban food in all of Orlando. Don't ever go there. That's the worst. And
can you find?
there isn't even one Cuban in the place. I dare you to find one Cuban in the whole joint.
It's a shame.
It's like,
Good Cuban sandwich.
get it.
Glad I saved it for the show.
Hey, Steve. Anyway, the boats for the Wishes cruise. I'm looking. It says up to about 10 guests. I think is the max from what I'm seeing over here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought there was one that was kind of like a special boat or something like that fit more. Yeah, then that's not a good idea.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
Len's
keep
idea
together.
is Len has a good point over there. You're going to want to do the attractions, see some of the more interesting shows. One of the things that always impresses people is the Finding Nemo, the Turtle Talk with Crush. People love that. They think it's
Right.
great, because they're expecting a canned attraction, And when you have like your 6-year-old daughter ask Crush a question,
Uh-huh.
it'll knock their socks off, and he starts talking back to her and like, where's your dad?
Oh, so Monsters. Actually, I think I like Monsters Inc. a little bit better than I like.
Yeah,
Turtle
we
Talk.
did that the last time, and they said one of our jokes and everything.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, you want to hear the joke?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Two guys are standing in the middle of the road, and one of them starts going, "I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam, I'm a teepee, I'm a wigwam." The other guy goes, "Relax, you're too tense."
Seriously, it's better than a Scopa joke.
That's awesome.
Well, this isn't just.
It was my son. It was Andy, my son, who
Yeah,
thought of that one.
Blame the kid. Yeah, blame.
He's in the Navy, by the way. Hey, Andy, what's going on?
We're not limiting just to us. I'm sure our listeners have, some great ideas for, good things for Steve's family to do. And if you'd like to submit your ideas, Steve is definitely going to be reading and responding to them. So be sure to submit them in this week's show notes in the comments section. You can submit them, and I think we'll, anything that catches Steve's eye, I know he's going to definitely look into. And Steve, I hope we provided some help to you today, and hopefully with our listeners' help that you're going to be able to plan a really great trip to impress your family, and then they'll all start listening to the podcast.
Definitely, and I'll give you guys a report.
Hey, that'd be great. Thanks for coming on, Steve.
Awesome. Sure. If you have any good Cuban restaurants, let me know.
In Orlando?
With real Cubans in them.
In Orlando with real Cubans.
We got to bring them up from Miami.
Well, that's it for us today. This episode of Walt Disney World Today has been sponsored by DVCBuyResale.com. DVC Buy Resale is a great place to buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club points. You can view their current DVC resales, get answers to frequently asked questions, or see the DVC point charts, all by going to www.dvcbuyresale.com, or you can email Chantel, who's the owner, at info@dvcbuyresale.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Lentesta, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Steve Medina, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Jello, everyone. Manjello.
Join us on July 14th as we broadcast live from the 2007 Magic Meets in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Live coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern on Mouse World Radio 1. Visit wdwtoday.com for more information.
The day of silence has passed. However, time is really ticking now. Lots of days of silence are coming. Unless you make the call today. On July 15th, it's all over. Internet radio will be gone forever. Nobody's going to like what comes next. High subscription fees, very limited choice, and the rich get richer. The word from the big record companies in their most recent press release, if you want to hear music, now you'll have to pay for it. Just watch it happen. Unless you take 5 minutes to contact everyone in Washington that represents you, both of your senators and your representative. Surf to SaveNetRadio.org to save internet radio. SaveNetRadio.org. SaveNetRadio.org.